Famcast Media, bitch.
Good morning, demons and demonesses. Kwame Wahkan here, and apologize about, not being, in my studio right now. Currently I have, people over the house, fixing a couple things. So I have no access to my studio for the next maybe 2 or 3 days. And also this is the first for me because this is the first time actually, filming an episode inside of my car. So let's see how this turns out. But this is going to be an update on the Ashia Davis story. Now Ashia Davis was a nurse out of the city of Detroit who was murdered by a man that she met online. Now, some new information has been released on Carlos Scotland. I think the last video that I made, the police were still doing their investigation. Well, here's what they found out. Apparently, Carlos Scotland met Ashia Davis on a dating site and offered her money in exchange for, you know what. But I have a news clip. I'm going to play that for you.
County judge ruled that a man accused of killing a transgender woman in Highland Park will stand trial.
The first day of testimony on Tuesday ended abruptly when the defendant fell asleep in court. Andres Gutierrez is live outside 30th District Court with the latest twist in this case. Andres.
And Shana, we'll get to that twist in just a moment. But yes, as you said, the judge found that there is enough evidence to charge Carlos Scotland with first-degree murder for using a firearm during that crime and carrying a concealed weapon. He will not stand trial for the charge of resisting an officer. For this probable cause hearing, the judge heard from just 2 witnesses. One of them was the MSP detective in charge of the investigation. That detective detailed that back on June 1st, 2023, Scotland met up with Ashia Davis at the Woodward Inn and paid for oral sex. Forensic evidence revealed Scotland used multiple phone numbers to contact her, which he later deleted to try and cover his tracks. The prosecution argues that this, along with other actions like bringing a loaded gun and the way he shot the victim, execution style, shows that this crime was premeditated. The testimony was, just as you can imagine, gut-wrenching for her family and friends.
So terrible to hear how he did what he did to her, and the reason that he did it, and why he did it. It's so hurtful, and I just can't take it, but I got to for her, and I'm gonna make sure that I keep coming back. And I just want the family of him to know that I'm praying for y'all, because I know that he took something so precious from me. And I know that y'all gonna feel it too, because God is gonna have the last say so.
Now, here's today's twist. Scotland's brother, Joshua Martin, is now facing charges including obstruction of justice for allegedly trying to get witnesses to file false statements with police to help his brother out with his alibi. The 26-year-old is already serving time in the Department of Corrections up in Muskegon. So Scotland's next court hearing is set for next Thursday at the Wayne County Circuit Court. But remember, right now they are in the process of moving to the new Criminal Justice Center, so that hearing may end up getting delayed. Reporting live this evening in Highland Park, I'm Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Detroit.
Now, based on what they said in this video, I think it's kind of obvious that this was clearly premeditated. First off, the lad had the gun with him. Then he went on this site, met her, promised her money in exchange for, like I said, you know what, and then shoots her in the back of the head, execution style. Then lies to the police and say that she tried to attack. I mean, have we not heard this story before? How many men have said this many times before? Oh, well, she attacked me, or, oh, well, she hurt herself. This is bloody bullshit. And then on top of that, the lad had burner phones. He created multiple phone numbers with those fake texting apps just to lure this girl and make her feel like this was a safe person for her to be around. He knew what he was doing. He was planning to kill this woman all along. Now, mind you, he planned this murder out at the age of 17. A 17-year-old planning out how to murder somebody. That's rather disturbing, is it not? But just to rub more salt in the wound, the killer decided to do this in the courtroom. Here's a video.
Today was the first day of testimony in the trial of a man accused of killing a transgender woman in Highland Park.
But the proceedings ended abruptly when the defendant fell asleep. CBS News Detroit's Andres Gutierrez joins us from 30th District Court with what exactly happened in that courtroom.
Well, before this morning's proceedings got underway, the defendant, Carlos Scotland, was talking to his attorney, mouthing something to someone in the gallery. But once the first witness took the stand, well, he couldn't stay awake.
Mrs. Scotland, are you okay?
Many in the courtroom saw this as pure disrespect.
Is your client still awake?
Carlos Scotland dozing off as the lead investigator recounted the inconsistencies during his interrogation of the 18-year-old charged with the June 2023 murder of Ashia Davis at the Woodward Inn.
Did the defendants ever suggest that there was some type of altercation in the room?
Yes.
Okay. And when you look at that picture, sir, is there anything that would suggest there was a struggle or altercation in that room?
Not at all.
MSP Detective James Plummer says Scotland eventually admitted to shooting Davis.
And could you tell us, what did he say as it relates to that, sir?
That he, after the victim swung at him, that he shot the victim in the face or neck area.
Okay. And are you familiar with the medical examiner's report in this case, sir?
Yes.
Okay. And was the victim shot in the face or the neck, sir?
No.
In fact, where was she actually shot?
In the back of the head.
Literally in the back of the head at close range, correct?
Yes.
Did he ever correct that part of it?
No.
Scotland initially claimed it was all done in self-defense after she allegedly attacked him with a knife.
He initially said that he had took the knife and discarded it in a field. He then recanted that and said that the victim swung at him with a closed right fist while possessing a phone in the victim's left hand.
Okay. And did he ever say where the knife was that he claims was there?
He provided great detail initially, looking at a map as to where he discarded this knife before saying that there was no knife.
And just as the detective was getting into details about how Scotland and Davis ended up meeting that fateful night, Scotland's episode began. Eventually, his attorney told the judge another inmate allegedly slipped Scotland 3 pills before coming to court, causing the drowsiness and forcing the judge to adjourn for the day.
The defense always prolongs the thing. I don't know why they think it's in their best interest to prolong it or make it even longer when inevitably he was already found competent. So it's only a matter of time, but I'm very confident that Ashia Davis is going to receive the justice that she needs.
And so testimony picks right back up here on Thursday afternoon at 1:30. Reporting in Highland Park, Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Detroit.
Now, if you can tell by this lad's behavior, and if what he says is true, that he was slipped pills, let's be honest. The lad did this shit on purpose, and the lad has absolutely no remorse and doesn't feel bad about it. Now, the fact that, he got up early in the morning, said, hey, you know what, I'm going to get a gun, and I'm going to murder this trans woman. I think it's a good thing that the police got this monster off the street before things turned even worse. Because let's be honest, the fact that he planned to murder this woman, despite her being a random stranger that he didn't even know, this is the working of a serial killer in the making. Chances are, if he got away with this, he probably would have done it again to another trans woman. Now, I don't know what his background is. I don't know what his home life and home situation is. Are serial killers made? Or serial killers, born fucked up in the head? Who knows? Maybe it could be, a mix of both. But the fact that this guy has absolutely no remorse, that he feels that he can just fall asleep in court in hopes of trying, to prolong justice in this case, just shows how cold-hearted this guy is. And honestly, I hope the judge throws the book at him for this. And like I said, the prosecutor in this case has been, a very strong supporter of, the LGBTQ community in the city of Detroit. They've prosecuted several other cases, and honestly, I don't think this case is going to end up any different. But either way, this is going to be up to the judge and the jury to, you know, sentence this guy, you know, get justice for Ashia Davis, because she shouldn't deserve this. You know, she was a nurse. You know, she was living out of a hotel, you know, while going to school. This hotel was also frequented by, you know, other members of the LGBTQ community that happened to be down on their luck, you know, and, you know, with housing discrimination, you know, people having a hard time trying to get jobs. Some people do use sex work as an alternative source of income. You know, so they won't have to rely on, you know, the government, have to rely on food stamps, have to rely on SSI or anything like that. And this lad saw what Ashia was going through, saw all the, you know, the hoops and hurdles that Ashia had to go down, and then all of that just taken away in the blink of an eye with one gunshot to the back of the head. This is a really disgusting case, and it really makes my blood boil. And thank God we have a bulldog of a prosecutor that's going to hold this guy accountable for his actions. Now, once again, whenever a trans woman is killed in a situation like this, you always hear people saying, oh, well, maybe she shouldn't have tricked him. Maybe she shouldn't have tricked him. The lad bloody knew. This was all planned out, all calculated. He knew exactly what was going on, and he thought he could get away with it. Well, guess what? He didn't get away with it. He is going down. He is going to prison. And to be honest with you, that's what he fucking deserves. And I hope he has the time of his life in there. Animals like this don't belong out running the streets of Detroit. And we all know all the crazy shit that's going on in Detroit. And the fact that he had the audacity to take pills, knowing damn well he was going to be sitting in front of a judge. Just blatant disrespect, no conscience, no empathy, no remorse, and the worst deserves to happen to this lad. But that's pretty much all I have to say about this. I think he'll be due back in court on Thursday, which is a couple days from now. So let's see how that turns out. But that's it, demons and demonesses. I'm going to head to the petrol station and then head home, because I'm bloody tired and hungry. Alright, you guys, stay safe, stay metal, hail Satan, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.